Alright, welcome to another driving part video. In this one we are of course jumping into Le Mans in probably one of the most famous cars that there is now because they made a whole movie, Ford versus Ferrari. This is the car. I made claim on an earlier video that the GT40 I was driving then was the car. It was not. That was a later model of basically it is the same car, but it was a later model of it. This is the actual year and model of it. $20 million in the legendary cars garage, but yeah, this car is it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So if you wonder how I've been making all my money on Gran Turismo, well, this is the car that I've been doing it on this track right here. So this is basically a recreation of the final big race that was in that movie, using this car on this track. No chicane, however you say it. It's without needing to slow down at all. This long straightaway in the back where you can get a lot of speed up and momentum, and you can actually, so normally you'd have to pull off into there, and this one we can just cruise. So what can you say about this car other than it's Ford ingenuity at its best? This is the car that sparked the latest Mustangs that you see on the road all the time and all that. I have been using this car non-stop for just doing the 30-minute race. $500,000 goes up to almost 800,000, and you can end up actually getting most every car in the legendary garage for. I mean, it takes you a few hours to do it, but yeah, it is definitely doable in that sense. Takes about 20 races, 30 minutes apiece. You do the math on that, that's how much time I've been spending trying to get the cash up to make all these videos happen. Really, again, this is the car with the setup. Although, in that race, normally I am lapping everyone, no problem, first lap, but I have it on expert difficulty level in just a quick race. It's not the actual Le Mans 30-minute race. Definitely, again, if you're looking for money and you got a lot of time in your hands, it's probably the most guaranteed way of doing it is this car on that race, because again, you basically almost double lap everyone doing it that method. You can set the car to pretty much a 700 pp and you can just go with it. So this car is brought down on the performance points, but again, we're making it fun. 3 laps against the hardest difficulty, and you can already see how I'm like kind of keeping up with the AI in this. This is also Gran Turismo Sophie AI. So also, let's get into the car itself. So the car is, of course, from way back. I do believe it's the 60s. I think this is a 67, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, you can see there is no electronics in it whatsoever at all. This is a race car after all, too. The most electronic things that there is that box right over there with the flip switches on it and all that. But we have air balls in this thing, so you can kind of, is that air ball or is that a nitrous ball? I don't know. So this car is such old tech, it's actually kind of hard to tell exactly what everything is in it, because they had different things that they were worrying about back then. So nowadays you would have air going into your helmet with a lot of different types of sports cars and such, just to make sure that you have a good steady supply of breathable oxygen going to you. Now, a car like this, I don't know if they would have actually done that, because they didn't have full face helmets back then. They just had the smaller helmets, as you can see in the movie. So again, not a car expert by any means. I just love to check out all these vehicles, showcase them a little bit. But again, as you can see, though, just analog dials, nothing really digital. There's nothing lit up. There's no LED stuff in this or anything. Even when it comes to the lights and all that, so like this car would have been running at nighttime. Probably got pretty dark in this vehicle at that night, because there isn't really so much in the way of lights that I can see or find. Even if I turn the lights on or off, there is nothing that lights up in here. So yeah, you're especially on this back straightaway right here. there isn't so much in the way of lighting, so it's probably pretty dark out there. You just got your headlights in front of you and the road, and then just, you know, take it as you can get it. I will say, when you're running the 30-minute race on this, one of the things to really look out for is you're going to have to refuel like crazy with this thing. It's roughly about 2 laps, boom, and that's a refuel. But this is a very large track. It is Le Mans. I almost just pulled off the gas here. I'm so used to doing that turn right there. So the other thing too is this car will kind of eat up tires a bit. You get about 2 to 3 laps, and then you're pretty much having to hit the pit stop, go and grab tires, go and grab fuel. But if you have it set up the correct way, where you got to actually pull the car back a bit, then you'll end up just flying around the track. I'm trying to find the other button. Where did it go? Bingo! I have track support right there. Yeah. Just trying to see how far ahead that person is. I don't think I can. But yeah, this car, it handles really well. It doesn't really slide off the track too easily. As soon as you put the racing tires on there, you put the softs on, and you're good to go. What else? There's not much in the way of parts to really upgrade. It's just the car costs like $20 million, so I'm pretty sure this was a $20 million ride. It might be a little bit less than that, but yeah, I bought this a while ago. But again, this car is like the real deal for Le Mans, because again, this car won Le Mans IRL, so it just fits the track. Like, this car just zooms right around the track. That was my bad. I had the gas a little bit too much right there. I'm trying to catch up with this guy up here. What else do we got going on? So you are sitting a bit lower on the ground, and again, because this is a bit of an older car, you can notice the rear view mirrors when you're inside the driver's seat on this thing. You got one in the middle, one on your driver's side, nothing on passenger side. Really, there is no passenger side. It does almost kind of feel like a single seat vehicle, but it's just wide enough to where, you know, you almost get that feel of like they could have fit a second seat in, but of course that would add weight to the vehicle. That you don't want that. You want this thing. That's the other thing too. This thing is as aerodynamic as it comes, so you do end up getting, again, about as much mileage out of this as you possibly can for just how long this track is. If you were to check my mileage on this thing, I got a lot of miles on this. Again, I've used this a lot to buy pretty much every car at the Legendary Cars garage. Just so happened to be that this was the first car that I really wanted. Actually, this was not the first car. This was the second or third car, because I picked up one of the other cheaper Ford GTs, and then I've worked my way up to this one. If you put this, funny enough too, if you put this against like a hybrid, you know, exotic sports car, whatever they want to call it on here, where you have the battery and the gas tank, that car will go for a longer distance than this Ford GT. And there is at least one of them that was a DLC car that I've done the video on also. I'm pretty sure I did a video on it. I can't remember which one. I can't remember which car it is. I kind of wish I hadn't said that. But there is a hybrid, one of the exotics, it's a DLC. Kind of figured out by that. Maybe I'll put the wording of exactly what it was up on the screen here. But yeah, that car seems to be the only thing that really matches up to this Ford GT, and you can get as much mileage out of it as well as, you know, having the power and just the ability to get around the track as quick as you need. As you can see, this Porsche is having a bit of a tough time. I'm about ready to have a bit of a tough time. Hold on. Yeah. And that's something that you do at Le Mans a lot, on that corner especially. when you're trying to really get around the track really quickly. You got to watch out for that. Funny enough, we're not seeing a lot of Ferraris. We're seeing all Porsches. That Porsche right there is the color of the car that is in the Ford vs Ferrari movie, which I think that is it wasn't a red car. I'm pretty sure it was a blue car that they used in the movie. So let's get around this track one more time. Third lap. This is actually my first time. So I've used this car for hours and hours and hours and hours. This is the first time I've ever actually been inside it like this in VR. It looks really, really awesome to get inside. Just being able to check out all the, all the wire workings and everything that's behind you in the engine. All right, let's see if we can't catch up to this Porsche. I will say too, since I don't really run this car on a steering wheel and pedal that much, the conversion from running this on a controller versus a steering wheel and pedal, it's a lot of muscle memory is actually kicking in of how to drive the car. Funny enough. Like I know pretty well how far I can push this car, especially with this track too. Because I've driven this track so many times now. But yes, a quick little 3 laps around Le Mans with a Le Mans Championship ride. Go check it out in the Legendary Cars when it pops up. Gotta have a lot of money in the bank account though for it.